What if dragonflies the size of eagles still ruled the skies, and you were just part of their food chain? Imagine a world where insects never shrank, where giant scorpions roam forests and flying bugs with 3-foot wingspans dominate the air. This isn't fantasy. It almost happened. Approximately 359 to 299 million years ago, Earth entered a fascinating chapter in its prehistoric history known as the Carboniferous Period. During this time, dense forests blanketed the planet, and the atmosphere contained significantly higher levels of oxygen, around 35% compared to today's 21%. This oxygen-rich environment gave rise to an era where insects ruled the skies and the forest floor in astonishing sizes. Creatures like Meganeura, a giant dragonfly with a wingspan reaching up to 2.5 feet, soared through the air, while massive arthropods such as Arthropleura, a millipede-like invertebrate that grew up to 8 feet long, crawled through ancient woodlands. These were not science fiction monsters. They were real and thriving in a world unlike anything we know today. The secret behind the gigantic size of these ancient insects lies in their unique respiratory systems. Unlike mammals and birds, insects do not have lungs. Instead, they rely on passive diffusion to absorb oxygen through small openings in their exoskeleton called spiracles. In today's atmosphere, this method limits how large insects can grow. But in the Carboniferous period, the elevated oxygen levels made it possible for these creatures to expand to colossal sizes. In addition to the abundance of oxygen, there were few vertebrate predators at the time. Without large reptiles, birds, or mammals to challenge them, insects had no significant competition, allowing them to dominate Earth's ecosystems both in the air and on land. As the Carboniferous period gave way to the Permian period, the Earth experienced a dramatic shift. Atmospheric oxygen levels began to drop significantly, returning closer to what we see today. This environmental change placed a cap on how large insects could grow. Simultaneously, vertebrate animals such as reptiles, birds, and eventually mammals began to evolve and spread across the planet. These new creatures had highly efficient lungs and superior mobility, giving them a major advantage over the oxygen-dependent insects. The combination of shrinking oxygen supply and the rise of agile predators forced the once mighty insect giants into decline. Over millions of years, they evolved into the much smaller species we are familiar with today. But let us imagine an alternate timeline, one where the Earth's oxygen levels never fell, and vertebrate predators did not rise to dominance. In this hypothetical world, giant insects would have continued to evolve and likely occupy the top of the food chain. Enormous dragonflies might still patrol the skies, while armored centipede-like creatures could roam forests as apex hunters. Ecosystems would be structured very differently, with insects playing roles that mammals and birds hold today. In such a world, even humans might have evolved differently, or not at all. Giant insects would not just be a prehistoric memory, they would be a terrifying reality. If giant insects had never gone extinct, the entire structure of Earth's food chain would look radically different. Birds and mammals, which currently dominate many ecological roles, would have struggled to evolve or survive in a world overrun by insect megafauna. The balance of predator and prey would shift dramatically, with enormous carnivorous insects possibly sitting at the top of the food web. As a result, ecosystems would be far more insect-centric, with fewer opportunities for vertebrates to thrive. This would also have profound effects on agriculture and food production. Human diets might depend more on insect protein than mammalian livestock, and farming practices would revolve around either harvesting or defending against massive insect populations. In a modern world shared with giant insects, the way humans design and protect their environments would be drastically altered. Cities would need to be built with structural defenses against flying predators that could be the size of birds, or even larger. Skyscrapers and homes might include shielding or deterrent systems designed to repel airborne insects. Everyday life would also involve advanced repellents and possibly even personal defense tools to ward off aggressive or territorial bugs. Cultural aspects would change as well. Myths, religions, and folklore might place insects at the center of their stories, depicting them as either divine protectors or terrifying monsters. In many societies, giant insects could be worshipped, feared, or even used symbolically in war and diplomacy. The presence of insect megafauna would likely drive scientific and technological innovation in unique directions. For instance, exoskeleton research, already a growing field, would become a major focus as scientists study insect biology to improve human mobility, strength, or protection. The biochemistry of insects could also inspire breakthroughs in medicine and engineering, from natural antibiotics found in insect immune systems to durable materials mimicking insect shells. Furthermore, genetic research might take a different path entirely, with scientists exploring compatibility between human and insect biology. Whether for medical treatment, defense mechanisms, or even new hybrid technologies, giant insects could hold the key to entirely new branches of science. Could a world filled with giant insects actually become reality once more? Theoretically, yes. If the Earth's oxygen levels were to rise significantly again, it could recreate the conditions that once supported insect giants. However, this scenario is highly unlikely due to current human-driven climate change, which is altering the atmosphere in complex and often harmful ways. Nevertheless, controlled laboratory experiments have shown that insects do grow significantly larger when raised in high-oxygen environments. So, while the return of giant insects may not be on the horizon naturally, the idea is not entirely science fiction, especially if humanity ever attempts to manipulate ecosystems or atmospheric conditions on Earth or even other planets. Thankfully, those giant bugs are history, for now. But nature has a strange way of surprising us. If you enjoyed this mind-bending what if, hit like and subscribe for more.